Okay, I'm back and it's time to do something a little bit different. In one of the videos I did recently, I mentioned that I'm pretty much done collecting Subterranean stuff for now. Really the backlog stuff anyway. There's a lot of authors out there that I'm interested in collecting that Subpress has done, but not something that I feel compelled to purchase, especially considering you get into secondary market, you're spending a lot of money. Nothing that's really a priority right now. And so for the foreseeable future here, I'm probably not going to be buying too many Subterranean books. At least that's not from the direct source. So I'm shifting focus a little bit. There are things that I want to start collecting that I haven't really had a chance to do so yet. Things that I'm just now becoming interested in terms of reading, in terms of my tastes in literature. So I have started collecting Centipede Press. I don't know if everybody out there who watches these videos is very familiar with Centipede. Personally, I wasn't too familiar with them until pretty recently. A really good friend of mine who is on the Subterranean Readers group there, Josh Ding, he's the guy who kind of turned me on to this stuff. And at first, I really didn't like the aesthetic. I wasn't too into the titles that were being published and things like that, but it's really grown on me. And so this right here is my first big Centipede Press purchase. Something I just barely missed the boat on, and I was thankfully able to pick it up for $10 over retail, which pretty dang good for a popular Centipede title. If we can inspect the packaging here a little bit, little crumpled corners, things like that, but nothing huge really. Seems pretty solid. Was shipped media mail, so, and from California, which I live in St. Louis. Typically, if something spends 5-6 days in the mail system, you have kind of a higher possibility of damage being done to the book on the inside, but this seems very solid. It wasn't moving around, by the way. Shake it around, you can't hear anything. It actually sounds like bubble wrap in there. So I'm going to pop this thing open. Yeah, and I have a lot of people telling me that I need to get a different knife, because they say I'm going to hurt myself or whatever. Okay, so first impressions, I pop this open. You can probably see there we have bubble wrapped book. I can't tell if it's thickly bubble wrapped or if that's actually one of those bubble mailers that sometimes some idiot sellers out there will literally ship a book in a bubble mailer and that's it. Those are the ones you get refunds from. And then there's some packing peanuts here, so far so good, I would say. Now, there wasn't enough really packaging on the top and bottom, I would say, but you can kind of survive without that most times. Let's go ahead and get this open. Actually, it looks like it's bubble wrapped and a bubble mailer. Okay, so we got a little Scotch tape. Pull this out. So, not a bubble mailer. Not a bubble mailer. This looks like just like some paper. I don't quite know what kind. There's some kind of printing on it. I can't really tell what that is, but I guess we're going to find out in a second. Let's take this out of here. Huh. That almost looks like measurements. Don't want to pull on the edges of the book much. Really don't want to do that. Okay. I think we're in business. Now this book is oversized. And actually bigger than the oversized Subterranean books, which are, I believe, 10 inches tall. These are actually 11 inches, I think. So there's some big, hefty books. All right, now this one's new in the shrink, I think. Yes, sure is. Okay, we got packing slip here. All right, yeah, brand new in shrink. We have the Averoigne Chronicles. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Somebody out there is probably having a conniption fit hearing me pronounce that. By Mr. Clark Ashton Smith. This is something that I'm really new to. Now, I have read the so-called weird fiction. You know, I've read Lovecraft. I've read a small amount of Lord Dunsany. You know, growing up in the American public school system, you'll read stuff like Ambrose Bierce. You'll read Poe. You know, I mean, just your obvious ones. So for me, getting into this kind of stuff, with a production that's as beautiful as this, I mean, look at this thing. It's got stained edge, has ribbon marker, nice, beautiful wraparound dust jacket. You know, one of the more beautiful things I've ever seen in terms of books. I'm actually going to pop it out of the shrink here, because this is not for resale for me. Be very careful here. This is something that I'm actually going to keep on the shelf myself. I have kind of wrestled with the idea of reading this very copy, and I have not yet come to a consensus on that. So it seems like such a beautiful piece of art, it's hard not to read it. Especially when you guys see the inside of this book. Okay. So I guess the first thing I'll do have a slight crumpled corner here, right up there. And then it also looks like maybe just a slight corner here too. And some kind of like little stain on the top there I can see. All in all, pretty minor. Let's pop this dust jacket off. Wow. Now, there is a guy's blog out there. I'm going to ask his permission. And I won't name him now, but I'll ask his permission and see if I can't link to his blog in this. Why don't you come on over here? See if you can't get some pictures of this. Carefully, right? So we'll just kind of start flipping from the end papers on. So, mapped end papers. For the fantasy fan in me, this just tickles my pickle. Let's go ahead and flip this open. Just look at this thing. It's just beautiful. I feel like I stole this from the Devil's Very Own Library. Table of contents with your ominous hooded guy. Okay, so it's just fantastic. I don't know that I've seen anything of this quality before with my own two eyes, as far as books go. And so I am now hooked on Centipede Press. Like, look at this stuff. It's just awesome. This might be the most awesome book I own in my collection, in terms of just the sheer awe-inspiring artistry of it. It's got very thick paper. Very thick paper. It seems like there's an illustration on almost every page. Just fantastic. Let's go to the back here, which limitation pages for Centipede Press are kept towards the back. I want to save it's, yeah. So you have your facsimile signature from Mr. Clark Ashton Smith. And then these are the artists who worked on this. So pretty cool. This is number 171. One thing I want to show you guys before I cut this video is the full art dust jacket. Check that bad boy out. Just nutty. Cool. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.